welcome to the Sci-Fi Invasion. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this Sci-Fi Classics box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. The movie I watched today was called The Horrors of Spider Island from 1962. Yeah, this is a movie I've seen before. At one point in time, my favorite episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's not my favorite episode anymore. I think the mantle of favorite episode is now Werewolf. That's one of the ones that, you know, when I want to show someone Mystery Science Theater and I want to hook them in, I always show them Werewolf because it's so funny. But yeah, this used to be one of my favorites, and to this day I can still hear some of the riffs in my head. But let's talk about the experience watching it without a commentary, and that it was okay. It was fine. It's definitely more fun to watch with someone else, I think, like many of these movies. But the plot of the movie revolves around some models, some dancers going on a plane to, I believe, Shanghai. It's somewhere overseas. I can't quite remember. But they're going there for some sort of, like, performance. It's not important because the plane crashes and they're trapped on Spider Island. Now, for a movie called The Horrors of Spider Island, there's not many horrors in it, and not many spiders, but there is an island, so it's not complete false advertising. The main guy in this, he's the one who is auditioning the women. For some reason, the thing that sticks out the most in my memory of this movie, both from the Mystery Science Theater episode and watching it now, is there's a sequence where the guy who's choosing the models and the dancers to go on the trip, he has some sort of system worked out where he positions his legs in a manner that shows his assistant which woman he wants to go on the trip. And for some reason that always sticks out in my mind. It's a very ridiculous thing in the movie because it doesn't really add to anything. It's just kind of there. Also, when the plane crashes, it's very abrupt and it's done entirely in stock footage. And so it's like, oh yeah, the plane's crashing, and then you have like some guy in like limbo going like, oh no, they're crashing, and then it cuts to them being washed up on a beach. It moves from that to an abandoned research facility, and no one quite knows like why is there like food and stuff here, but there's no one around. It's kind of odd. And the main guy in it, the leg position guy, he goes and starts exploring the place, and he gets bitten by a radioactive spider, and he starts turning into a Spider-Man. Not joking. That's what the plot of this movie is. It kind of reminds me of the remake of Earth versus the Spider. Not the one with the giant spider, the one with Dan Aykroyd, where a guy gets bitten by a spider who's obsessed with superheroes, and he tries to be a superhero, but he turns into a monster. That's a movie I should make a video about. It's odd. The main guy, his name's Gary. There's some funny scenes where people are going, Gary, when he's, you know, big monster man, and him being a spider monster, it's just him wearing a mask and gloves, and he's shirtless. so it looks ridiculous. It looks like the worst Halloween costume you can imagine. It's fun though. There's also a character named Babs, and for some reason the name Babs is funny to me. Yeah, nothing really happens. The spider doesn't really kill anyone until probably the last 15 minutes of the movie. Unless you count Gary, who disappears 20 minutes in. But he just walks around and moves his hands and stuff throughout the whole movie. But yeah, these two research assistants come to the facility, find all these women. One of them's super girl crazy. All the women fall in love with him really fast. And he's kind of a douchebag, and obviously he gets killed by Gary. If you're expecting a lot of fun B-movie stuff, you're not going to get much of that. There's maybe 20 minutes of it in the whole film, and the rest of it is just kind of cattiness between all these women. And there's a charm to that as well, I will admit. If you're picking a movie called The Horrors of Spider Island, you're expecting minaret spiders and stuff, and that's not what this movie is. It's fun though. I would definitely recommend the Mystery Science Theater episode. It's lacking in a lot of stuff that makes it truly entertaining on its own, at least in my opinion. I'm sure there's people who disagree. The next movie that's on this disc is one of my favorite B movies of all time, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about that next week. But yeah, for now, that's all I gotta say. Decent B movie, not fantastic, and I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind and rewind.